Rainbow Six Siege Esports, or Pro League. Still to this day, one of the most competitive scenes comes from Rainbow Six Siege, where people who don't even understand the game all come together to watch the majors or the invitational. It's always an exciting time for competitive gaming. Watching Pengu win invitational, watching Shaiko hit the kill record in Pro League, watching some crazy throws, and overall, just enjoying the pro scene. But there's one thing that's always crossed my mind. Rainbow Six Siege has almost been out for 10 years, and only for the first year did we ever see a console pro league. And it made me ask myself, what happened to console pro league? Why is it only PC now? Is it because PC Master Race? It never really made any sense to me. Does anyone else remember watching Prime King George on console? Or Canadian? And how relatable it was? And that kind of brings us to today's video. Should console get a pro league again? Within this video, I'm going to break down the pros, the cons, the whys, and the what ifs. And as I'm going through this video, be sure to comment down below what you think should happen. Do you guys think console pro league should be a thing? Or do you not think so? Let me know down below. But let's get right into the video. First, let's talk about what's already established for console. First topic being, we have a bigger audience than PC, which makes the console competitive scene more relatable. And you're going to see me going back to the relatable topic as it's important. Second topic being, console already has an established dedicated comp scene. We have the Jinxie tournaments, Roller Saturday and Sundays, and many more competitive scenes. Even PC players watch the console tournaments. Which brings us into the third topic. Because of the big audience and the already established comp scene, we already know that people would watch because of streamers like Jinxie, Richie, Stompin', Mingo, and so many more. Has anyone else ever noticed that like a Jinxie tournament, in terms of viewership, will outview our actual Pro League events? And that's not even including the fact that Pro League events have drops on for viewers. People would rather watch console tournaments because of the entertaining side. Which then brings us to our last bulletin for this topic. Ubisoft's dedication. Ubisoft has been dedicating a lot more time to console's way of life. Console has its own recoil pattern from PC. We have proper advanced settings now, which means it's not like old Siege where Ubisoft only focused on updates based around PC and its comp scene. I've always been one person that has never agreed with Ubisoft when it comes to making changes because of a pro player's competitive opinion. For example, we've lost Zophia's passive ability because somebody complained about it. We've seen nerfs because pro players deem it broken. And I understand it. Ubisoft wants to appeal to the competitive scene, but while doing so, completely disregarded console for the longest time. In only the past 3 years, I would say, Ubisoft has actually given a shit about us. But with these 4 points I made, all lead to one topic. Console Pro League, if it were to be added, could genuinely change the game. Which then leads us to our next topic. What benefits Ubisoft from deciding to continue with the idea of Console Pro League? Now, I had to speak in terms of money language for Ubisoft to understand. First thing being sponsorships. With high viewer numbers, sponsorships would go crazy. We've already seen the amount of viewers that Jinxie, Stompin', and all of those other streamers pull just for a non-league tournament. And let's be real, they be pulling some mad views, and it's hella entertaining. I understand why. Next point being more pro team collaborations. Take Optic or 100 Thieves as an example. With Console Pro League, more league teams would be interested in establishing their name within Siege. We know a lot of teams don't want to come to Siege in terms of Pro League because they're not deemed or seen as a more of a PC type team. With the introduction of console, we'd probably see some teams like Optic or 100 Thieves actually coming and playing for the game. Hell, we might even see another phase branch go into console Siege, where already established PC league teams would be able to branch off onto console because the viewership would be greater. And with these 2 points made, brings us to our last point on the topic. Console Pro League events. We just had the recent major in Montreal and have Invite happening in February. FYI, if you're going to Boston, I say this to everybody, but don't be afraid to walk up to me. I will be there. I will not eat you. Maybe. It's like a 70% chance. You might get eaten. Okay, some people have lost their fingers, but you're never like fully unattacked. But imagine more events because of Console Pro League. Imagine a console invite. I know for damn sure a lot of people would pull up. I already pull up to PC invitationals, and I don't even really give a shit about the games because I can't relate to it. I'm not a pro player. I'm not a PC player. To me, they're just a whole different breed. With the introduction of Console Pro League, I'm telling you, Ubisoft would be able to make more events just for people that want to watch Console Pro League. As somebody who's went to the Charlotte Major, Atlanta, and the Montreal Invitational, I could say I did enjoy the games. The environment was amazing, but I wasn't as intrigued into the games because, quite frankly, I just can't relate to anything. And I keep going back to the relate thing because I'm just a mere console peasant. You think I'm gonna be able to flick around and do all this other shit? Console playstyle is completely different from PC playstyle. Obviously, we all have the same game sense, but the playstyle is not the same. So I think being able to do different events for console and for PC would just be awesome. Obviously, this is all just an idea, but this is genuinely how I see Ubisoft being able to benefit from it. More events, more sponsorships, and more collaborations. Which brings us into our next topic. How would Ubisoft accomplish this? Now, we all know the cheater scene on console is horrendous. Even though there are a lot of players in the weekend tournaments who cheat via MNK or even Cronus, obviously it's a lot less than it used to be, but if these tournaments were actually league regulated, each match would be properly cleared, hence no cheaters and a legit fair base, especially at LAN events, practically making it impossible to cheat, and if caught or even accused would suffer major consequences. We all saw what happened to our King Shaiko just off an accusation, which was quite heinous and it was bullshit, but everyone essentially would be on their best behavior. No loser MNKs or loser fucking Cronus players. Just straight up gun skill controller players. With the dev team being able to regulate proper league matches, everything essentially would just roll much smoother. The next point being, Ubisoft could use sales from console pro team skin commissions to fund part of the events and earnings. Again, this happens now. Every pro set that you buy doesn't just commission the team and the players, but commissions Ubisoft to make events and have bigger prize pools. It is a clear way that makes it so us community players can just help fund pro teams if we want to. Even if we just like the skin, it still helps if we purchase. Obviously, you don't have to, but if you do, it makes it for some way cooler fucking events. I feel like I don't need to explain this point too much because it's pretty simple. You buy a skin from a console team, you contribute to a future event with your favorite team. It's kind of like having a creator code, but for pro teams and the events. But these two simple points would honestly help Ubisoft accomplish this. Leading us to the next topic, what are the cons? Now, even though I very much would love a console pro league and would probably go to every goddamn event, I'm not even a crazy competitive head. I just love the environment and would love to watch these games. There are always going to be cons. First one that I thought to myself was, if console pro league were to be a thing, I could see casual play completely dying off. But to be fair, casual play, as of recently, has already started to drift away. I feel like nobody really plays the game casually. Anybody and everybody tends to focus on the weekend tournaments and the streams. So I feel like this con, even though it exists, isn't as heavy as people would anticipate. The other con would be ranked would genuinely die. Already with the weekend tournaments, no one cares about ranked. So if we were to get console pro league, I just see it dying out anyway. I could tell you as somebody who has grinded for top 500 this season and who has accomplished that, it was probably the most boring fucking rank session I have ever done in my life, and that's because all the people who want to play competitively just play in these tournaments or Discord funded league matches. I genuinely mean, if you're a high ranked player and you want to get elo, just play on the weekends. It is free as hell. You will never lose a game. All the good players don't exist. But this brings us into our next topic and final topic. What could we see in terms of content if this was to happen? Content. And what I mean by this is, what could we see in terms of content if this was to happen? First one being very obvious, new Pro League skins. We love them, we cherish them. I don't think there is such thing as too many Pro League skins. Next one being possible new maps and reworks that are balanced for competitiveness. I don't think anybody wants to play Outback or Emerald Plains in terms of a competitive environment. And I genuinely believe if console were to get a Pro League with an already existing PC Pro League, Ubisoft would start making better balances to every map to pretty much abide for both sides. Instead of making new maps, let's make better reworks for the competitive environment. It's that simple. Next point being more console streamer charms. As somebody and one of the only console creators that actually have a charm, thank you guys. By the way, just sub to the Twitch channel if you want to acquire this beautiful charm. Selfish plugin, selfish plugin. I believe if we were to get a console Pro League, more focus would be set on console, so we would see more streamer charms. I've noticed a lot, and I mean a lot, of PC pros have acquired their own charm. We have Foxay as an example. We have Spoit, Pangu, and just so many more, but those are just the top 3 off my head that I know. Can you imagine a Richie charm? a Mingo charm, a Stompin' charm, that shit would be badass. As a creator, I want nothing but for all my boys to eat. Only recently have us console players actually been getting charms, and I appreciate that from Ubisoft. But I need to see a damn Mingo charm. Come on, man. Like, where is it at? But the next point being an overall revival in console siege. All of these topics, all of these points I made would essentially just revive the game. The competitiveness would be at a maximum peak. The casual play obviously might hinder, but overall the player base would be a lot better. Give us console players something to look forward to watch, because quite frankly, I don't give a shit about any of the PC Pro Leagues. I just can't relate to it. I'm gonna keep saying it. I can't relate. I'm not Spoit. I can't flick. Okay, I'm Ash. I'm a console player. I have sticks. I'm not them. I would love to see players like Richie on the stage just competing or stomping when he obviously comes of age. I could definitely see him running that shit. It would just be fun. That's kind of why I made this video. I know I was kind of all over the place. And honestly, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. And clearly, you would love to see a console pro league as well. I love Rainbow Six Siege. I love the community, but to make the community a lot better, let's give what people have been wanting for the longest time. Please, Ubisoft, if there's a dev for whatever reason watching this, let's aim for a console pro league. I mean, for God's sakes, console streamers, knock out your league streams. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. You have a bigger audience. Help us out. Help us help you. It's a win-win situation. I don't see anything going wrong with this. But that's pretty much been today's video. If you guys want to see some more content like this, or share your opinion on the matter, comment down below what your thoughts on what I said or in general, and hell, I might make a part 2 with your comment. But 1,500 likes helps the boy out, and I think it's time to cue the outro. You got a nigga, me too. Buddy go what? Buddy go, booty go,